Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Pivot with Purpose. I am back. I haven't been here for a while, but you're going to get me now. You're going to get me now on a weekly basis. For a while, we are doing a new pivot. So ever since I changed the name from Shit I'm 30 over to Pivot, now I have a serious pivot in my life. I am back with a new voice and finding a new purpose as a single mother of two. We have a 16-year-old, almost 17, and we have a 1-year-old. And we're going to get to it. Give me a second. Before we do, you guys know that I love shouting out reviews from all of you guys. You send reviews and you leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. And that is a way that fuels me and that just keeps the podcast going as well, because y'all know something has to bring me back. So I want to shout out XOX Nick. She says, relatable and real. As a woman and mother, you may feel that you go through things and no one else does. I love that Carla is so real and relatable. There's times I'm listening and yelling, yes, I feel that. I don't know what she meant by that, girl. You messed something up here. But it says she's a Puerto Rican queen who has a genuine passion for helping others and is vulnerable in many ways, which is appreciated in a world of savages. Might be a little savage. I also appreciate her tips and guidance on the podcast world. Keep it up, girl. Well, thank you, Nick, for leaving that on the Apple Podcast. And if you have not yet, make sure you go to Apple Podcasts, leave a rating, leave a review. It literally takes 60 seconds. You can do it while you listen to the podcast right now. But now that we're going into the show, you guys know that I've been gone for a little while, right? And do we just start guns blazing?
Yes.
Did we start? Yes. Did we go from there?
Yes.
There's a voice you guys hear on here, and I will introduce her, and I'll introduce you now. Okay. So it's almost our anniversary. It's our anniversary.
I know. What are we doing?
So you guys, if you follow me on social media, you probably know that I've been talking about Paola. And Paola, it's like Paola this, Paola that, Paola this has been my saving grace. And I didn't know why God put her in my life, but he brought her in at the perfect time for the perfect reasons. And now she's sitting here with me and I'm like nervous. Y'all know I haven't been here in a while. I think I kind of dimmed my light. My voice, I kind of lost it a little bit. Well, I thought I lost it, but it's back. Don't worry about it. It's still here.
Lit a little flame to reignite.
Just
a little bit.
And here's Paola lighting it, right? And then ads also lit it to the like, oh, we got to deal with it. And I was like, money? Okay. Yeah. So Paola's here. You're going to be hearing from her more and more. She's going to help me out to, bring exactly what I want to give to you guys. And she's just really good at when she talks, right? So guns blazing?
Yes.
There we go. So recently, some things have been circulating in the internet. And I asked for privacy.
The wild web.
The wild web. I like that. I asked for some privacy. I have been quiet for a while. And I said, if we're going to talk about something, 1, give me a heads up. And 2, let's make it the truth. Because I love the truth. But as someone, out there, wise man has said, what is it that he said? He says, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining, right?
Preach.
But here, the truth, I kid you not, is 10 times more entertaining than ever, okay? The lies, nah. But I'm going to clear some things up that were said publicly because I'm going to tell you why.
You need to tell the truth because Carla has a podcast, bro. Carla got a podcast. She going to say what happened.
Carla has a podcast. And I've been quiet. I've been chilling. I'm sitting with my emotions, what we'll talk about in a second. But I do have a podcast. And there's just a few things. I won't even go into all of it that I want to address since it was publicly talked about. And y'all don't know how to stay out of people's DMs and out of emails and just sending all kinds of random things. So let's talk about traditional, right? What is tradition? What is a traditional marriage?
There's no more tradition. In 2022, tradition is what you want it to be, I think.
It's what you want it to be.
It's what works for you.
Right. But if we talk about tradition and what was spoken about publicly recently is cooking. I cook 3 meals a day. By choice and also the fact that where I live, there's no Uber Eats. Like we have halal
There is
food.
nothing.
There was nothing.
Carla can cook too. Carla has impressed me. Now, I never doubted her cooking, but she puts on a full course meal.
I love to cook.
And
I
dessert.
love to eat. I'll do a mean brownie out the box, but I will add the ice cream and banana splits. I got you with a banana split. So I cook 3 meals a day.
I think that's traditional.
That's traditional as fuck.
Okay, so check mark. One
Check
debunked. Next.
Like it. Next. House clean.
I was in that house. That house is big. It's really big. There's no way that you can clean that house traditionally alone. You need a group of people.
Let's just think about the fact that I have had a cleaning person since I was 15 years old. When I lived at my mother's house, I don't clean, I maintain. So I used to pay my mom's friend $50 out of my allowance to clean my room because my mother said my room had to be cleaned. As an adult, ever since I've moved out, I've always had a cleaning person.
That's your tradition.
That's my tradition, right?
Okay.
So when I get into a relationship, I usually tell people once a week, I have a cleaning person that I've afforded on my own all my life. So when I move, it's an expectation of mine from day one. So my house was clean, okay? Every corner you can think of, dog shit clean. Cleaning up behind every and anybody. Kitchen clean, bathrooms clean at all times. So is that a check for that?
Yes, another thing debunked.
Children being taken care of. My child was taken care of with a nanny as well. Because when I said I was going to get off birth control and have a child, I said I wanted a nanny. If I'm doing this shit again, after 16 years, I want a nanny. Period, point blank. That's how it goes. So yes, I had a nanny. What, for 18, 20 hours a week?
Because you're a working mom.
I am a working mom, and I have a business to run, and a business that has been here for years. So that's it. Is that another one?
It is.
Okay. So I think everything traditional.
You did, because it's your tradition.
Right. My tradition it's pretty clear, and it was my tradition and my expectations from day one. Anything other than that, old fashioned. I don't know if paying $20 for nudes is old fashioned.
Although prostitution is the oldest job.
Okay.
So that's old fashioned.
Prostitution is old fashioned. All right. So moving right along, we will leave that there. We will go ahead and debunk what tradition is, a traditional marriage, what old fashioned might be pornography. And we will move right along to what today's topic is, because I don't want to say anything else out of emotions. I don't want to bring anything else being vindictive, because at this time, I'm healing. Just know, believe none of what you hear, and probably 1/16 of what you see. Okay? Let's keep it there. So today's topic, I'm going to talk about the healing that I've been doing, because I am healing. So sitting with painful emotions, right? I think that I come from, and if you've been following me all these years within the podcast or even social media, you know that I don't necessarily, in the past, before starting therapy in 2017, who sits with their fucking emotions? Honestly, coming from our culture, you don't sit with your emotions.
No.
You
keep it moving.
You keep it moving. I remember just whatever is going on, you just go.
You fix it and you keep it moving.
I don't even know if you fix it. I think you put it under a rug, sweep it under the bed, and then just keep on about your life. Nothing, it just, you mask it, right? So painful emotions aren't just after a breakup. There are emotions that you deal with after someone has passed away, when you have someone close to you with an illness, or yourself with an illness. After having a child, I didn't expect to be feel as low as I did after having Psalm, but it was because I was so programmed to work and to be independent, right? And to just be able to get up and move and do everything that I've done all my life. And it's like, I got to change things up. Plus, it was the middle of COVID when I was pregnant and had the baby. So the whole thing was just a disaster. And don't get me wrong, I had the most amazing pregnancy. I feel like those years were just, I was in love. My pregnancy was beautiful. The support that I had was beautiful. So I wouldn't, now that it's been some time that I've been sitting with everything and in my thoughts and lots of therapy, I feel like I don't want to take back the time that I spent.
No, those were core memories.
They are.
You had good memories. If anything comes out of what you're in, the situation that you're in now, It's the fact that you have those good memories. They're monumental memories. You're never going to forget it.
No, I won't, because I remember my pregnancy with Ayana. And with Ayana, it was completely different. You know what? I was 17. I was 18 when I had her. It was really shitty. I was alone. It wasn't like that this time. And it was planned, and it was made that way. And I thank God that's how it went. So anyways, losing a job is something that you have to sit with your emotions. And avoiding and dismissing painful feelings, sometimes we learn how to throw tantrums to deal with them. So looking at what I have here, sitting with our emotions simply means allowing them, resisting the urge to get rid of the pain, and not judging ourselves for having these emotions. I feel like before I would just drink, party, hang out with friends. What else? Yeah. What have you done to like not? Because I'm sure we've all done it.
So I'm a little different.
You sit with them?
No.
Oh.
So for me, it's not like the drinking and the partying. For me, it's more like I overspoil myself to make myself feel good. So I go shopping. I get a pedicure every week if I feel like it. I overspoil myself because I already feel so badly about it that I'm like, I don't want to think about it. I want to do what makes me feel really good. And I love to shop. I love to go watch a movie. I love to go to a nice dinner. I like to hang out with friends. And I will do all of that to avoid being alone and dealing with my emotions.
That's crazy, because do you remember while in Jersey, there was a time where, you know, there were a few months that I was just like, I wasn't feeling good, right? And I remember going, y'all, I do not decorate. I don't like shopping. My ass was in Home Goods, okay?
Yes.
Just walking through the fucking aisles, grabbing pillows for no reason. $30 pillows. What am I doing buying a $30 pillow? Stupid ass
coffee signs.
Coffee signs. Coffee bar signs. I was buying holiday
syrup, coffee syrup, all types of
random things. But it did make me feel good to come home. And there were times that I bought things and they just stayed in the bags, literally stayed in the bags, because I just wanted that feeling of just like feeling good and coming in. And my babysitter would be like, "Oh, I bought some things. You use yours?"
I think yours was a little different. I mean, as your friend looking at it, you were trying really hard to create a home.
I was.
You were trying very hard. So you're like, okay, I know I'm an entrepreneur. I know this, but I have to be a mom. I have to be a wife. I need to be a homemaker. So you trying to be a homemaker was buying a pillow, because when you go into a stay at mom's house, she has a whole room set up.
All the pretty pillows and the throws on the
and
I bought throws for the bed. Who the fuck gives a shit about a throw on the bed? I'm going under the covers.
So I felt like you were that was one of your, to me, looking at it from this side, that was one of your final attempts to create a picture perfect holiday.
Literally, I bought 5 Christmas trees.
She did.
I bought 5 Christmas trees for this house. We had Christmas trees outside. We had them inside. We had them in the kitchen. They were everywhere.
There was garland.
There was garland.
There was garland everywhere. The whole area.
The most I've ever done my entire life is buy 1 Christmas tree that my daughter would decorate, and that was it. I had, what are them, wreaths?
A wreath, yeah, in the front door.
What's it called?
A wreath?
Don't even know what it's called because I've never had it. I never bought one before. I bought 3. The front door, the side door, all the doors had a wreath. I said, what the hell is going on with me right now? But I was trying to do things different, you know, because it was a different life. It was something that I committed to that was a little bit different. But as I'm doing some research on sitting with painful emotions, I do want to say that like y'all know I've been in therapy for a long time, but instead of putting my energy and, you know, whatever anger I might have towards drinking or doing drugs or hanging out or doing things that detrimental to you, I would say that it would give you negative things, I decided that I would just do more therapy. So I still have my therapist, and I went on BetterHelp, right? And I went and got me another therapist, and I said, I want to try cognitive behavioral therapy. I want to try hypnotherapy. I want to try different things that'll make me grow and make me a better person. Because there is no point in time in my life, I don't care how well I'm doing, that I'll feel like I'm at my peak or I just do things the best. No, I want to keep growing. I'll never stop going to therapy. And I'm about to be 35 years old. I want to be the best mother I can be. I want to be the best partner I can be to someone. I want to be the best boss I can be to people or work with people, an entrepreneur. So 3 things that I learned from an article was, number 1 was observe your emotions. Sit with your emotions by noting what you're experiencing without judging yourself. This is so fucking stupid.
It's not.
It's not, but it's so fucking stupid.
But you like it now. It's journaling.
And you're taking a little bit too far by saying I like it.
I think in the moment when you're in it, you like it because you get all of it out.
Okay. So observing your emotions. That is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're angry. If I go back 4 years, which my therapist told me she was proud of me. I was like, tell me again. Say it again. And now text it to me. Because I had 2 emotions 4 years ago. And all my life. It was angry and then I had happy. That was it. So I would be hella angry and it was fighting, putting hands on people, just doing wild things that I won't say on here because they're probably illegal. And then there was happy. And when I'm happy, I'm joyful. Like I'm dancing. Y'all know how I dance. So keep your comments to yourself. I found somebody who's going to give me a dance lesson this week.
Okay.
I know. It's actually.
Look at you.
Yeah, she's
Summer 2022.
It's about to be lit. I wonder if she does twerk classes. Maybe I can learn how to twerk.
No, slow down.
Anywho. Took it too far?
Slow down. Baby steps.
Okay. We'll start with a little salsa. Maybe I can stop having 2 left feet. Okay. So sitting with my emotions, I am sitting with them. And instead of lashing out at people, I'm using my journaling on an everyday basis to whether I have to journal and talk to God, right? And I'm like, God, it's like a prayer or talking to him. Or if I'm upset at someone or I want to text somebody or call them, what I'll do instead is journal it and pretend like I'm talking to them, right? And say everything I have to say, drop all the F-bombs and everything. And then once I'm done, I'm like, whew, that feels better. So I guess journaling, I don't like it, feeling them and observing them, but it does help. It really, really, really does help.
I think when you're writing it out, you can start figuring out what other emotions are you feeling. Are you disappointed?
Oh, that dumbass fucking.
Are you sad?
Feelings wheel chart.
Are you let down?
There's so many feelings.
Yeah. Are you anxious? Are you scared?
Disappointed.
Disappointment is big. Being scared is another one that I learned is big. Are you feeling? Yeah. Are you feeling fear? And I don't think you figure out those things until you write it out.
Yeah.
Because you'll say, I'm so disappointed at this person. I am scared of what's going to happen next. And then you start seeing it.
Right. And you read it back. The beauty about journaling, don't get me wrong, I am not the best journaler. I literally struggle with ADHD. Journaling every day is not going to be a thing. Right now, in the midst of the turmoil that I'm in, yes, every night when I wake up at 4 a.m. and instead of doing some wild shit, I just open up my phone and go on my notes, write the date, and journal. So it's been almost every day. But when things are good, you don't really want to journal, right? But I've looked back and for the past couple of years, and there are times that I would force myself to journal when things were good. And there are some journal entries that I'm like, wow, that was a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. That day that I felt just so in love, so grateful for everything that I had. And that day was there. But then I also see the days when I'm like, I don't remember that I was that angry. Or I didn't remember that I was that sad. Or I just didn't even remember that happened. Or that person did X, Y, and Z, but I journaled it and I can go back to it. So the first one out of the 3 ways is observing your emotions. The second one was validate your emotions. This one has been really hard for me. Mm-hmm. Validating. So validating your emotions means accepting them. Again, you don't judge your emotions and thereby trigger extra pain. It's so hard to say this happened for a reason or the reason that it happened for or accepting that it's happening.
Yeah, it takes time for you to get used to that because you don't, whenever, for example, if you have a car accident, you're like, oh, this car accident happened for a reason. No, but maybe it made you a better driver. Maybe you were a little bit reckless and now you're a little bit more cautious. I think, like, even personally for me, my relationship, it happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
My daughter being here happened for a reason because now I feel like my patience has grown tremendously.
Tell me about it.
You gain a lot of patience. You also gain the fact that you don't react to everything. Not everything deserves your reaction.
No. Mm-hmm.
And then I think that was the biggest thing for me. Once I realized that you don't have to react, that's like the biggest control thing that you can have. Anybody can control you if they can control your emotions.
Absolutely.
Once you get control of your emotions, nobody has anything on you.
I have all my life reacted immediately off of my emotions. This is the first time ever in my life. And here's the most mature thing about me at the moment. I'm so mature. The fact that I have receipts, I have pictures, I have videos, I have everything, right? And I just keep that to myself because for what? What will it do for me to do something being vindictive out of anger, out of pain? For what?
It's going to dim you. It's going to dim your light.
Literally.
And you don't want that.
It's going to make me feel good for what? An hour, 2 hours, get some type of gratification or satisfaction. And then what? I have so many bigger fish to fry. I have a business. I have employees. I have people that depend on me. I have my children. I have myself. And that's the biggest thing. I never really cared about what I look like or when I sat here and beat somebody's ass or when I went on the internet acting a donkey ass fool, you know? It didn't matter. I didn't think of the consequences, but everything you do has consequences. And I just, at this point in time, like I said, I'm almost 35. I don't want those consequences. And I move in a way on a daily basis to make sure that that I'm okay with everything I've ever done. So anything I've ever done, any way I've ever moved, anything I've ever said, any actions that I've done, I am 1,000% back. Like, I'm okay with it. What is that? I'm okay with it.
I think, and also, like, for example, for me, like, from church, I learned that you want to edify yourself.
I know that's right, JC. Teach us something.
You want to edify yourself. Everything that you do has a consequence, like you said. If you speak to someone a certain way, how is that going to affect you in, like, retro?
Right.
It's just better to, if you keep yourself first and you think, what is this going to do for me? Right. Is this going to do anything good for me? And if it's not going to do anything good, just let it go.
No.
It doesn't deserve a reaction.
Thing that they say, will it matter in 5 minutes? Will it matter in 5 hours? Will it matter in 5 days? Will it matter in 5 years? What deserves a reaction? Will this matter? No, it won't.
At 35, almost 30. Listen, your 30s.
Give me a second. Not 35 yet.
Your 30s will teach you. There's so much more than the little. You look at the big picture. I think when you hit 30, you get that big picture view.
That's why the show was called Shit I'm 30. Because I got there and shit really fucking changed from my 20s to my 30s. But the reason why it pivoted onto Pivot with Purpose is because, and I spoke about this in an old episode, which probably about a year ago, where I was struggling with the name because I no longer felt shit, I'm 30. I love it now. I embrace it. I love how secure I am in my world. I was just so scared of responsibility and not being able to say, well, I'm just young because I did it, right? No, now I'm in my 30s. I own me. I own my actions. And I love that. I love it because I love who I am, what I do and how I do it.
You learn to love yourself in your 30s.
Doing it well.
You learn to love yourself in your 30s. You learn to love yourself the way that you want to be loved.
Hell yeah.
You learn what you're not going to tolerate.
Yes.
You learn, and if that means straying away from friends that you've been friends with since high school, that's just what it means. If it means you leaving a job, walking away.
You leaving an engagement and a family, you walk away.
You do, because the bigger picture, are you happy? Is this going to matter?
No. Oh, so let's go into number 3 so we can keep going on this one. Focus on the present. Ooh, that shit is hard, especially when you have anxiety, because I live in the future 99.9999999% of the time. I live in the future. So it says it's also helpful to focus our attention on the present instead of wallowing in the experience. We wallow when we fixate on the feeling. Judge ourselves or judge the person or situation that triggered our feelings. Ooh.
That one takes therapy.
That one
takes therapy.
I just finished talking about it with my new therapist. Where he's teaching me basically how to not have this victim mentality of, oh, they did this to me or they hurt me this way. And it's like, it's fine. I feel this way right now. What am I going to do about it? And I thought that was avoidance for a long time. But the thing is, I was going straight to focus before sitting first, before doing the observing your emotions, validating your emotions, and then going on to focusing and not wallowing. So if you go straight to focus, like, okay, that happened to me, let me move on. No. You can't go there right away. You do have to sit down with them first, kind of validate them, and then figure out, all right, I'm good now. Let's go straight to fixing it, right? What are we going to do now? I'm not going to sit in the victim mentality all day. Like, this happened to me. Why would you do this? No. I have to look at the bigger picture and say, I have a son, I have a daughter, I have a business. Bitch, I look good.
Yes, ma'am.
My curls is curling. They looking like I ain't got no man problems. Listen, she did my hair today. I said, these ringlets is back. They're suffering a little bit in Jersey. Florida brings it out of me. So
a little tan.
I got a little tan. Yeah, wait, give me a couple months. Ooh.
It's early.
I'm gonna be brown.
It's
shiny. We're still in spring.
It's
Maybe
early.
till summertime.
Yeah.
About to be summertime fine, baby. But yeah, anyways, I do want to let you know that the show is sponsored by BetterHelp, but it's sponsored by BetterHelp because I use BetterHelp. So go to betterhelp.com/WSS. I'm switching that code for you for Pivot. Don't you worry. Got y'all. But do betterhelp.com/WSS. I'm going to have the link in the description of this. Use it. I know so many people that say, well, I have insurance. I can go this way. They have financial aid options. You let them know I don't have a job or I have low income, and it'll be like $65 a session. Literally. You can switch your therapist at any point in time. I did it. I had some guy that, I'm not going to lie to y'all. This nigga. I would talk to him and he'd just be like,
He wasn't for you.
Wow. I'm listening. Bitch, if you say one more time, what are you doing? And he would call. He was not for me. I'm sure he's for somebody because he's been there for years and he's done this for 20 plus years, but he was not for me. So after the second thing, I said, you know what? We're not a match. I unmatched him, just like Match.com or Hinge.
Aww.
Unmatched him and said, find a new one. And then you look through the profiles of other therapists, and I knew what I wanted. I said I wanted someone that's into hypnotherapy, that's into cognitive behavioral therapy, NLP, like someone that knows all of it. And I just got matched with someone. In our first session, I was like, you are for me. You're literally for me. So again, go to betterhelp.com/WSS. You're going to get 10% off your first month. If you need financial aid, let them know. Like, do what you have to do. Just go. I promise you, just go. You just try it. It's not for fucking whims. It's not like, at our age, if you still feel like therapy is not for you, you shouldn't even be listening to this shit. Go somewhere else. Like, go, because I'm not for you either. But from there, you do therapy.
I do. I've been doing therapy since 2013.
Oh shit, you got me beat. That's why you're so centered.
No.
It is. That's why you got your shit together.
Yeah, I guess. I'm still working on it.
What year was the baby born?
2017.
Wow. So you were there before.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so proud of you. Why made you go to therapy 2013? We're Spanish. We don't do therapy.
My dad had a heart attack in 2010.
We'll make this dark.
And I developed anxiety from it. And again, we're Hispanic. We don't talk about anxiety.
No.
We don't talk about depression. And then coming from church, you just pray it out of you.
Literally.
And that should be an episode that we need to do. And then I had to go on my own because I was like, this isn't normal. I don't feel fine. And I originally started going for that. And then as I started getting older, I live with roommates. And I went through something, not with them, something internal on my own. And I went again and I found my therapist. Still talk to her to this day as friends. She's not my therapist, but she's a friend.
Really? I want to be friends with my therapist so bad. She don't want to. She won't let me. I be trying to follow her on social media. And she's like, no. I'm like, fine.
But yeah, and even after everything that happened with my daughter's father and stuff, I immersed myself in therapy again because there was a lot of feelings that I didn't know how to deal with. I always say, like, our parents did such a good job at giving us a good childhood.
You're lucky.
Like, we had that thing, like, yeah, we went to the beach on the weekends. We had family vacation every other year. Like, I had a good upbringing. I didn't know what trauma was until I was an adult, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And that, to me, was so scary, and it rocked me because I didn't know how to deal with it.
It fucked you up. No, I get it. It makes sense. No, and I'm glad you went that way. And I think a lot of people, again, I didn't go until late. I think they had me in anger management. Does that count as therapy?
Yeah.
I didn't do shit there.
Well, it's mandated therapy.
Well, I stayed angry, and I was angry because I was in anger management. I did that for years, but that didn't do nothing for me ever. But as you get older, and so I got into my 30s, mine was, you said your dad's heart attack. Mine was my dad's death. So I started going in 2017 when I just figured out, I don't think I'm dealing with this correctly. But I do want to touch on it. We can touch on it for a little bit. Church. I was born in the church, right?
Mm-hmm,
my grandfather wasn't, I was born into the church. And literally, you don't talk about, your issues. There's no anxiety. There's no depression. Eso el diablo.
Yeah.
Eso el diablo.
It's a demon.
Oh my God.
We're going to pray it out.
We got to throw the little holy water on you. They're going to
go to conventions.
Your friends must be heathens.
Yes.
Which the pastor.
Or you're the heathen and that's why you're dealing with it.
No, it was the pastor's kids and they were whores. She was a whore.
Not all PKs are whores.
Okay, not all of them, just 99%. But I was just to get blamed for her shit. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But no, they used to call me crazy all the time. And it was just, it wasn't that. I'm like, as an adult, I get diagnosed with ADHD. As an adult, I get diagnosed with fucking anxiety. And I'm like, I was just anxious all the time because y'all were putting me through so much shit as a fucking kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was just anxious. And y'all thought I was crazy, but I just didn't know how to deal with it. So you're just getting beatings for not knowing how to speak. And then the church was not there for you.
Right.
But
the bright side of that is, as you get older, you learn to have your own relationship with God.
Yes.
Not one that's the building.
The building is just the building.
The building, the pastors, the co-pastors, the youth group, take all of that away because I was part of all of that. And I feel like right now I'm more spiritual than I was by going into a building every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, car washes on Saturdays, convention every summer. Lock-ins. I was doing it all because I had no choice. I had no choice. My mom's like, no, we're going to church. We're going to church. Yeah. That was a routine. No, so, I mean, it served its purpose where it gave me a foundation of what the Bible is,
right,
who God is. But I don't think I got to feel and know what that is until I left that church. And I left church and I came back to it on my own. Mm-hmm. And I went to a church that fits me,
right,
and is for me. And is not so regimented because I don't need all that. I just need to learn more and deep dive into
learning
religion.
and applying it. So there's a big difference between knowing the Bible and being able to decipher the Bible. But if you don't apply that into your life,
then you just memorize the book.
You memorize the book. You know what you're saying. You're just talking about it. You have to apply it into your life. And I know for a fact that I have been blessed in abundance because if anything came out of the past 3 or 4 years of my life is that I got this amazing relationship now with God and with Jesus. And
maybe that was the purpose.
That was probably my purpose. I know that was my purpose. When I went to brunch recently with my friends, I have a friend named Janice. She went to the bathroom and came back and she's like, I think I know why you're going through what you're going through. And she said, it was to get you closer to God. You weren't here before. And in the past 6 to 8 months, I have had to lean. When I tell you guys, lean on God in ways that I never have in my life, ever. It was such a hard lean. If the only thing I can do is this, lean on him. And that made me, I remember saying at times, I don't know how to pray. Oh man, me and JC be talking. I just be like, hey, I'm going through some shit right now. And then I'd be like, okay, I probably shouldn't be cursing right now. Let me scale it back. I've been trying. You've seen me lately. I'm like, instead of saying shit, I'd be like, stuff. I'm holding it back. But at the same time, I'm having that relationship and I'm applying everything that I'm learning every Sunday. I am so grateful to be back at Journey Church, which is the church that I started going to back here in 2018, 2017 before I left. Love that church. And that church just brought me back into a space where I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense for me. And being in that building versus watching it online, because now it's been years since I've been watching it online. We didn't have a church in Jersey. And then COVID, everything was shut down. So being back in the building and taking the baby to kids' church and just, it feels so good, and I leave so empowered. I leave feeling so good, and knowing that Sunday's coming up. Like I'm really looking forward to Sundays. Like
at 9 a.m.
At 9, I go to the first service. I wake up early. I'm like, well, I'm there first, Jesus. When you're still good, when you got energy, because by the time 12 o'clock comes, you might be a little tired, and you might not be able to answer my prayer. So I want to make sure that I get there early so I get the prayer answered first. If you come at 12, might not get it. Okay, maybe you will. God answers everyone's prayers if you need it. But anywho, don't let your beliefs of church keep you away from it, or whatever you believe in, and then don't not go to therapy. But before we go into our next segment,
yes,
there is something that I still do, and I still have, and I still run, and I'm still sending to y'all, and that's these gummies.
Oh gosh, the gummies
that we talking about. Y'all know we've got the Who's Wax gummies. Listen, I was about to get married to this man, right? So we have a business. Oh shit. And business is business. Money is money. And getting high and feeling good is amazing. But we have our hemp CBD line. I love it. Y'all, who'swax.com and order yours. We have the memberships, which shout out to everybody that's beginning the membership. It's 10 packs for $100, free shipping. You get shipment first. That's just how it works. So every month you get 10 packs, and these just taste so good. Please do not eat a whole one. When you first get it, start with a quarter, go up to half. I just gave an engineer here and the owner of the studio a pack, and I said, you can go and have it with your wife. If she gets pregnant, do not blame me, because it happened to me.
It's very parent friendly. And I keep saying that. I tell it to like all my friends and people that I come across. It's very parent friendly because you don't feel
you're not
bad.
Fucked up. You're just
no,
chilling.
You're not. You are genuinely relaxed.
Very.
You get genuinely relaxed. And
it's it's a body chill. And then, okay, this is when you're going to get pregnant. If you mix it with wine.
Or have more than one.
Yeah. Don't take a whole one. Take a half, have a glass of wine. It's a fucking parents' night. You hear me? Make sure them kids fuck up and go to sleep and take it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, who'swax.com. Do that. I'm going to take one later. Okay. So let's go into questions. So I have a new email for you guys to send emails to. So it's askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com. Easy peasy. askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com. Send your questions for your advice. I will keep giving advice because y'all know I'm like a non-expert at anything of this, but I give really good advice. I just don't take it. I give really good.
You're getting better at taking advice.
You think so?
Yes.
I'll say it again.
You're getting better at taking advice because I think now you don't react. You listen.
I do.
You internalize it.
I do.
And then you do it on your own time when no one's looking.
It's really hard to do. I do. I was always such a reactor. You know?
You're like, I'm not going to do that. You're crazy. I'm not doing
Fuck that. That's not what I've done in the past.
Now you're like,
maybe I can.
And again, like you said, when we met each other, I didn't know that this is what we were going to be doing ever. I didn't think that we would become friends the way we become friends. But the one thing I have that I can say that I have done with you is I don't give you advice. I just tell you something. Like I'll be like, well, this is what I did. Yeah. This is what happened with me. And this is what I did. And then
take it or leave it.
It'll be your decision to be like, let me try that. Or let me see if it works. It doesn't always work. I'm a good time. I don't always give the best advice.
Time.
My advice sometimes is a little bit too crazy for some people, but
me?
I hit a couple times. Like
you hit most of the time. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, all right, slow down, horsey. I can't take it that far. All right, so send your questions to askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com. This one says, I need your advice. I am 37 and currently have 2 daughters from previous relationships. Boyfriend is 42, no kids. Okay, so you're in a relationship with a new guy. All right. I met my boyfriend in October 2021. It was nice at the beginning. He lives at his mom's when I met him. But just after a month, he slowed... I'm going to need you to read this because I need to like visualize what the bitch is saying. Okay. Hold on, and I had a shot of liquor. I should drink the rest of it. No, we're going to wait.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes, I met my boyfriend in October 2021. It was nice in the beginning. He lived at his mom's when we met. But after a month, he slowly moved in. Wait
a minute. He's 42 and he lived at his mama's house? This is why I need you to read it.
Yes. After a month...
Does anybody have a red flag? Red flag. Okay, go ahead.
After a month, he slowly moved himself into my house.
Slowly.
I have never been happy with this, as I thought it was too soon at the start. I suggested seeing each other 3 times a week, and he will say, what do we need that time for? I felt pressured and guilty that I love him less just because I need my space. My boyfriend has helped me with a few jobs in the house, and he's very handy. Every argument, he will use it against me and say, I have used them now, and now I'm dumping him. When I met him, he said he cannot have kids and had been married for 10 years and never managed to get his ex pregnant. So I shouldn't worry about contraception. I was totally shocked when I found out I was pregnant, and I really hate
She's 37?
being pregnant, and she already has 2 kids prior. Okay. I want an abortion now, and I don't know what to do. I want the abortion as I feel the relationship is too soon to handle this, and currently we are constantly arguing. He doesn't want to go out with us anywhere. Really, he stays at home, which I'm finding really boring.
Boring as fuck. Niggas don't want to go nowhere. Oh, sorry.
I think overall, I feel him moving him in was a mistake, and I just hate it. Please help. What should I do?
Get an abortion.
Can we talk about the fact that now, as of very late, male contraception
the pills are coming.
I want to encourage all the doctors out there to look at men the same way they look at women. When you walk into a doctor's office and they're like, are you on birth control? And you say no, they're like, oh, let me show you what we can do for you.
Here's the thing. These niggas don't be going to the doctor.
That's true.
They don't go.
So when should they get them? Like in high school, like when they graduate high school, like at college orientation, be like, hey, instead of a credit card, here's some birth control.
No, I feel like they should just have it next to the condoms.
But they don't take those either sometimes.
Maybe if they put a little penis grower with the pill. So it'd be like, if you take the pill, your dick gonna get a little bit bigger.
They didn't have to do all that for us. They didn't have to do that.
Listen, we're not on the same playing field.
Are we going to be looked upon a certain way by these right conservative people when we're like, are you on the pill?
Yes, because it's a double standard regardless. But I bet you if they tell me the dick gonna get bigger, they will take that pill. They might take 2 a day. 1 in the morning and 1 at night. So,
well, I'm happy that there's a contraceptive now for men because we've been doing a lot of work.
But I don't think they're giving it to humans yet. It's just the rats that aren't reproducing at the moment.
Okay.
Well, they're pretty similar.
Back to your question. What do you think?
I think that girl, you already know what it's like to have a kid. You got 2 of them. Him moving in slowly, him living with his mama, like 42, 10 years with somebody else and didn't have kids. I think the ex had a few abortions and never told him.
Are we still believing that? Oh, don't worry, I didn't get anybody pregnant. That doesn't mean
that they can't get you pregnant.
Right. That doesn't mean that.
I won't call you stupid, but I will say, don't have. If you believe in abortions, go ahead.
Your body, your choice.
And do a little... Suck that baby out. It's fucked up. Go to church on Sunday. Girl, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different options. You could do what's it called?
You can
adoption. You could keep the baby and just be like, the baby's here. There's a purpose. There's a purpose for every child. I'm not gonna. In my true beliefs, there's a purpose for every child. There's a purpose for everything happening. You don't know if that baby will make you even stronger. If I'm being like completely serious. But you need to do what's best for you. I don't know your situation. I don't know your financial situation. I don't know what that looks like. So I won't judge anyone for whatever their choice is, but make the right choice for you. 42, living with his mama, doing odd jobs around the house, moved in slowly. It gives me BROKE, Baroque.
Yeah, and we can't do that now. Like
at 37?
It's 2022. We need to move past certain things. Yeah. He's not the right person for her, maybe, but he'll be the right one for somebody.
For somebody. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the right one for somebody, but somebody gonna eat his ass.
Somebody will. That is the quote for the rest of my year.
2022. Somebody gonna eat this ass. It might not be you,
but somebody will.
But somebody will. I like that.
I love it.
I love it.
Shout outs.
All right. So if you want advice on any of the episodes and I'll read out your letters, go ahead and send that to askcarlawamariz@gmail.com or shoot me an email, a DM. DMs at the moment are disgusting.
Oh, you're popping.
I don't know if that's popping.
You are popping.
No, I really want people with certain. I don't give a fuck. Send what you guys send. I'm not gonna open it. I might delete it. I might block you. I love the block button. The block option is amazing, and my finger goes straight to it. Block and delete.
And you don't want to be blocked. We got a lot more coming.
You don't want me to block you.
You don't want to be blocked.
You don't want me to block you. There's content coming, baby. And we're gonna segue. So on this one, okay, how do we go into this? I love being with the shits. I love talking, and just saying how I feel about a lot of things, regardless of what that may look like, right? But my core, if you listen to whatever she says, which is the podcast that I had and shit, I'm 30 back in the day before I turned into Pivot, or me on social media, that my core will always be, my spirituality. And now that it's getting even deeper with God, I figured I wanted to do the same thing that I did in my last podcast, which was bring a Bible verse. I still don't know what the segment of this is going to be, but every week there's something that I learn, right? And I can bring into this to kind of end it with y'all. The same way I ended it before. It was an idea that I had, and I still love that idea, so I wanted to bring it over to Pivot with Purpose. And this very first one is my son's name, but it's Psalm 147:3. Psalm is 91, but this one is 147:3. And it says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." And this is so good. This is so good because he does, right? We are sinners. We are human. We make mistakes. But the one thing that I always know is that he's there to heal us no matter how broken we are. And no matter how deep our wounds are. And today, where I am, I have very deep wounds. I am brokenhearted. I feel like I'm not whole at the moment, in a sense. But when I read the word and I open up that Bible, or I do, the Bible app. I love the Bible app because they have all these, what are those things called that you could do?
Devotionals?
Like the plans. You can do the plan for 7 days or whatever. And it gives me something. And I can learn from it. So on this one, he heals the brokenhearted. It let me know I will be healed. And I've been here before. There was something Steve Harvey said on Earn Your Leisure recently. And he was saying, every day you survived already a really bad day. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it's like you've survived the worst days. I've survived heartbreak before. I've survived betrayal before. I have survived disappointment before. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, I survived it because I had a certain type of faith that I said to myself, he's here to heal me. And I surrendered myself. So Psalms 147:3, read it. Put it somewhere, share it on social media. I know we are all going through something, whatever that may be. But if you're brokenhearted, if you have a wound that's wide open, just open the Bible and just read, or go get a plan on the Bible app, or get a book that has, I love T.D. Jakes. I think it's When Women Pray.
Oh, that's an amazing book.
That book, I leaned into it really, really hard when I was in Jersey. And it helped me seeing these women's stories. So just that's what I want to end on. That specific Bible verse for this. And actually, Paola helped me find it. So thank you.
It's an awesome verse. I always feel like the shortest Bible verses in the Bible are the strongest.
They're the best. They're the best.
The shortest. God is love. That's just 3 little words. And that's so big.
I love that. So we're going to keep coming back week after week after week. I promise. At least for 3 months I'm coming, because that's... money's at. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm going to keep coming. I've missed this. I've missed this to my core. This is what I used to do. I went 3 years without stopping and without leaving an episode. 3 years. And leaving it for a year felt like I was missing something. And I know that void that I had was this podcast. So I'm back. I'm back, bitches. Better than ever. Curls are popping. Tan is coming. Cameras are here. Reels are coming.
Being traditional Carla.
I'm being the traditional Carla. And on that note, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.